Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the 3O channel where we live and learn by listening. Thanks so much for tagging along for our second episode of our marathon this weekend with the Brothers Gibb. Hope everybody's having a fabulous weekend so far. And if not, hopefully some music will lift your spirits. Listen up, for those of you who are new here to the channel, you're visiting for the very first time, my name is Chad. Welcome, welcome. Kick your feet up, relax, enjoy some great music. We do this every other weekend, by the way. Music marathons with the fabulous trio. And on the alternate weekends, oldies and classic songs from the 80s and going back. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, consider subscribing to the channel to get locked in on everything that I post. Well, folks, with that being said, you guys saw the title and the thumbnail, right? An interview and a medley from back in the 80s. Don't go anywhere. Fabulous trio.
Barry, Robin, and Morris, welcome.
Thank you, Michael.
I like that, it's nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice kids.
When in fact did you first start singing together?
1955, in Chalton-cum-Hardy.
But doing what? I mean, what were you doing?
Well, what we used to do when we were little children is, you know, they have children's matinees like they have in the cinemas and places like that. We would try to cadge our way on stage to, well, most of the kids cadged their way on stage to mime to a record, Elvis Presley, whatever it was, they'd mime, you know. We broke the record on the way to the theatre, so we'd been practicing singing at home with tin cans on brushes, you know. So we decided to actually sing instead of mime to a record, and that was the beginning of our career.
That was the debut?
Yeah.
But what kind of, when did you first get together and discover you could harmonise like you can?
The first time I remember, Robin and I were about 6, and Barry was 9, and we sat in the little lounge room and Barry got his first guitar for his birthday, and the first thing we sang was Lollipop.
Lollipop?
Which is the Mudlarks sort of thing. It was the only one we just automatically harmonised. Don't ask me where we got the lollipop from, but it was the only one that seemed to have the harmonising on each.
Lollipop, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, lolly, 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 lollipop, my lollipop.
Oh dear.
Amazing. With just one word, too. Sorry. You guys have even said in the comment section, it doesn't matter what they sing. They could sing out of the phone book and it would still sound good. I swear, it's been ages since I've even seen a phone book. Isn't that crazy? Let's go.
In fact, I suppose it was that kind of circumstance which led you to go to Australia, was it? I mean, that was the...
Well, it was Mum and Dad based. Don't forget we were kids, and it was Mum and Dad who made all the decisions, and they were looking for a better way of life.
Was it a better life when you got there?
Well, for us it was like...
Well, it was an adventure. I mean, all we knew of Australia was kangaroos, koala bears and aboriginals, and we expected to see them going down the main streets of Right. We said our first view was Perth, wasn't it? The docks at Perth.
That's right, and then Melbourne and then Brisbane, which is Billy Connolly's favourite place.
Billy Connolly's very big in Brisbane.
Yes.
They could catch him if he was very big in Brisbane. So, I mean, did you help out? Were you performing?
We did eventually.
Yeah, we started to do small hotel work, which in actual fact we weren't allowed to be in, so because we were underage. So our father gave up that job and started managing us.
How old were you, in fact, at this time?
At this particular stage that you're talking about, we were probably about 7 and 9. We were 7, Barry was at 9.
I suppose the big revolution in your lives would come when the Beatles hit.
That's right.
I mean,
Yes.
that must have changed your thinking about what you wanted to be and the
Yeah.
kind of music.
The time when the Beatles first came around, it was the first time where pop music had a sort of seal of seriousness about it, rather than the solo singers with Bill Cream, you know, which was before the Beatles. It sort of added a sort of seriousness to the art of popular music, and that's what the Beatles. If any, the Beatles that did anything that was quite
They
serious,
made it respectable.
Yes.
They sort of made it on a more.
What was the first record you ever made? Do you remember?
Yeah, hang on.
Yes. Hang on. Yeah.
What's this guitar doing here, folks?
It's quite sheer coincidence. There's guitars here.
Now this is completely rehearsed. This is... It is. We don't do this normally. We don't actually sort of spontaneously sing it. We have not rehearsed this song. What is it? What are you doing?
3 Kisses.
Right. This is the song we were recording. It goes way back, folks, so the
You
lyrics...
don't really want to hear this. this, but we'll sing it anyway, right?
Remember, try and visualise 3 little kids. I know it's very easy. But...
Kiss me once, oh yeah, baby. Kiss me twice, oh yeah, crazy. Kiss me 3 times, the 3 kisses of love. Oh yeah.
I remember that one.
What was the breakthrough though? What was there? Was there one?
Breakthrough was
Wine and Women.
was a song called Wine and Women.
Ah, another old one.
We were a little bit older when this came
Yeah.
out.
Oldie but goodie.
Great intro.
Right.
Wine and women and song will only make me sad. Love and kisses and hearts, I think I never had. If this should end, I don't mind. If this should end, I will find. I won't complain.
Wow.
I won't complain.
I feel no pain.
I feel no pain.
That's it about one.
When you came to England, it must have been fairly difficult to get yourself established. Was it rough?
Very
Well,
rough.
well, we got off the ship at Southampton and we met this group who were all dressed like the Beatles were in Hard Day's Night with the black cloaks, you know, and all that business. And they said, you know, go back.
Go, you're doomed.
Like 3 shadows, 3 ghosts, you know. It's on railway track.
Groups are out. That was the statement, which is pretty amazing, considering that groups still do all right, you know. Groups are out, go back. So we didn't, but that was the message. And we went to see people like the Great Organisation and all these people who said, we can get your club work, boys, but groups are out. They said the same thing again to us.
And who's one of the great we went to see who just...
Yeah, well, don't quote the poor man because, you know.
All right.
He's got 2 phones in his car now.
Old quote, but he did say go away.
Yeah. But your big breakthrough came with a couple of marvellous songs that you did in
Yeah.
the New York mining disaster
That's right.
and Massachusetts.
Yes.
Right.
New York mining disaster is one of my favourite songs. But where did it come from? I mean, the idea for that.
Well, Polydor Records, yeah, please.
It was written in a very sort of strange place for that type of song. It was written in the basement of Polydor Records, Stratfield Court in London, and with all the lights out. We write our songs in very, very peculiar places, and it was on stairs in the dark. And I suppose, you know, because it was the atmosphere.
But what was the thought line in New York mining disaster? Had there been a New York mining disaster?
No, we made it up.
Well,
There was a mining disaster
There
in New
was.
York about 1935, but it didn't relate to the song at all.
It was in the state of New York.
We made it up. We were just sitting in the dark and we couldn't see each other, and that was where the idea sprang from. So what would it be like trapped in, say, a mine, for instance, and you can't see each other? Can we write something about that?
We were very pessimistic. Full of joy.
At the same token, we wanted a song that, as it was our first single in England, we wanted a song to draw attention as well. So a title like that was not to be dismissed, you know.
Well, the idea in those days was to come up with the most ridiculous title you could come up with.
We didn't want to. I mean, Matt Monroe could not have recorded this song.
Well, will you play it for us now?
Yeah, sure.
I love this song.
Yeah, I'm ready.
In the event of something happening to me, there is something I would like you all to see. It's just a photograph of someone that I knew. Have you seen my wife, Mr. Jones? Do you know what it's like on the outside? Don't go talking too loud, you'll cause a landslide, Mr. Jones. I keep straining my ears to hear a sound. Maybe someone is digging underground. Or have they given up and all gone home to bed? Thinking those who once existed must be dead. Have you seen my wife, Mr. Jones? Do you know what it's like on the outside? Don't go talking too loud, you'll cause a landslide. like Mr. John.
So ingenious. Like, who comes up with that?
Here now, playing together and so obviously enjoying yourself. It's difficult to believe that in fact you ever split up as you did.
Yes.
Because after the success created by this period we're talking about now, these songs around, you did split up and you went your separate ways. Did you actually dislike each other?
I think intensely at one point. We just did not get along.
Yeah, I was more or less in the middle though. It was always between
It was
Barry
between
Robin
Robin and me, really.
Trade would say one brother one week and one brother would say something about the other brother the next week. And what was your opinion about that, Morris?
Having
I don't
said
know.
all of that, Michael, no, I think the thing about that is that when it happened at the time, I think a lot of people that remembered it, that were around at that particular time, don't remember that we were very young at the time, a lot younger than people realise, and that we were also very green to the kind of success that we had initially.
Right.
And I don't think each of us individually knew how to handle it. And we had a lot of egos. Young people develop very fast and very quickly, and a lot of things that are of value to a young person are very superficial, including like relationships don't mean a thing,
Yes.
you know, for instance, or how close someone is, or the fact that you're brothers don't mean anything.
Or when you're hurt at that age, you're hurt forever.
You know, yeah, that's
As
right.
opposed to when you get older and you mellow out and you realise that there are you can get around these situations. And
Yeah.
It was the success that was tearing you apart. I mean,
No,
you
no,
couldn't
right.
handle
We didn't
the-
see it as sort of say, it's success tearing us apart. We never thought of it like
No.
that. We thought, it was very easy for somebody to get one of us aside and say, you don't need the other two, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
we had a lot of
Something,
that.
that kind of thing. We're very green and very sort of
I
trusting.
think it still happens with groups today, very much
Oh, yeah.
so.
But
People
again,
try
it's
to
just
split them up.
experience,
Too much money, ego. When you buy 2 or 3 cars that generally people cannot afford at all, and you buy 3 of them, and that's an example of it. It was pure craziness.
Yeah.
There was no sense. There was no logic.
Lack of maturity.
Not Well, when you were apart though, I mean, were you miserable then?
Oh, fed
That's
up.
what brought us back together. Yeah.
Really?
No, actually, Robin puts it down to a fine sort of example, because when he had a hit with Saved by the Bell, we had a hit with Don't Forget to Remember, and they both went to number 2. And the thing that he pointed out was that once you had a number 1 record, or a big record, there was no one to share it with. You could turn around and say, guess what, love, to the wife, the record's number 1. She goes, oh, that's nice, dear. What do you want? But when you could share it between the 3 of us, we missed all
I
that.
think it was the
you know.
fact
Yeah.
that some bastard was keeping his eye on number 1. Got to number 2.
I think individually, when you get depressed now and again, you think, oh, I think I'll toss it in. This is ridiculous.
Yes.
It doesn't work.
Yes.
But I'm glad we didn't. We never did. We sort of remind
So glad.
ourselves of sort of,
So
maybe it's a
glad.
bit radical, of a sort of 3 Musketeer type situation.
Yes, that's right.
A very close
Yeah, that's
personal.
very radical.
It is pretty radical, isn't it?
Yeah. Go on, anyway.
All right, 3 Stooges.
Curly, Larry and Moe.
Yeah, right. It's what is between us, and it's so much more fun being together.
But
for
do you
that
think it's
reason.
also because we're brothers?
Yes, it might become a bond.
It might play, it might play.
But I think, anyway, sorry, Mark.
No, I was just going to ask you to play a bit more music, actually, because I do like listening to you. I want you to do Massachusetts.
Oh, you hum it, we can play it.
Yeah, you should do that.
General tune-up. This
It's
is
all right, Billy Connolly did it, got away with it. It's great.
right.
No.
Sounds good. Come on, I'm getting lost.
Okay, right.
Massachusetts, folks.
Got these intros. I'm going to line.
Neil, I'm going back to Massachusetts. Something's telling me I must go home. And the lights all went out in Massachusetts the day I left.
Top-notch stuff, folks. Top-notch.
I mean, that's the real standard. I mean, that would be sung as long as people sing popular music.
That would be nice.
Well,
we haven't heard it since we recorded it.
No, it's a beautiful
No,
standard
we
song.
have.
Do you think of your music that way?
Yeah.
Do you,
Well, we are mostly songwriters.
We probably take
Yes,
our
we
music
do.
more seriously than anyone might imagine we do. We get very offended when anyone puts our songs down. We get really hurt.
But any
situations.
songwriter
Yeah.
or a
Yes.
writer or of a book would, you know,
Yes.
an author.
You shouldn't really take it all that seriously, but we do.
What
It
are
does get
the-
up our nose.
It just. What are the statistics of what you've done, though? Who's the statistician here? Who's the one who? I mean, you've done everything that. Well, you've done more than any other group of musicians apart from the Beatles, haven't you? Basically, that's
So one of the records is that we've actually equaled the Beatles record in America, which is 6 consecutive #1 singles, which we're very proud of.
Yes.
And
Plus we've got the #1, the biggest selling album of all time, which is nice.
yeah,
Which is the
Saturday
Night Fever. Well, that again was extraordinary because I mean your career was down and you came back
right.
up again.
and so that reason we thought if we went to America we have a chance of making it back, but if we stay here we might not, because there was people knew us so well and they weren't prepared to accept us coming back
Right.
so easily. So that's the reason we did it.
Well, you made the right move when you are back,
Yes, we are.
and it's good to see you back.
It's nice to be back.
That was lovely. Yeah.
Wow, just beautiful human beings, beautiful souls. And you can see the ending there. They finished off the show with Silent Night. Apparently this interview was filmed around the Christmas season. Well, it's not the Christmas season now. And, of course, you avid Bee Gee fans noticed a lot of cutting and editing in there. Just, you know, time constraints and copyright issues. You know the drill. But just love this. Tried to get all the main focal points in this. I was just submerged. You probably noticed that. I was deeply engrossed in all the storytelling, the history, you know, their lives, and the fact that they're just human beings and they're able to share that freely with the audience. Little egos, just so down to earth, and you know, explaining about their issues as adolescent teenage boys and even in their 20s as adults, you know, fighting and bickering, quarreling, and still, you know, able to make amends, resolve their issues, come back together. And not many artists can do that. You just don't see humility like that. And for me, that's one of the major attractions to this band, is their ability to just be human with us. Absolutely love these brothers. I hope you enjoyed this interview as much as I did. Thanks so much. And again, I say this so many times, but thank you for your patience. Some of you talk to me like, you know, I've got 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on a banana peel, and it won't be long or I won't be around anymore, so please get to my reaction. Folks, let me tell you something. Your spunk and your energy is more than what I've got. You're probably going to outlive me, so I don't know what you are talking about. But anywho, thanks so much for your patience on these things. Thanks again, folks. Hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, take care.